what their actual grades are, there's a value-added score that they use, okay, which says, okay, this kid didn't want to be in geometry the year before that, okay? So when he goes into algebra the next year, it's the progress that that person makes from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. It's that progress that you get them to make based off of their past experience, not necessarily off comparative to the college-bound student versus the non-college-bound student. So they do have a system worked out there that does kind of take into consideration what you're talking about.
But they still have to take that algebra too. They still have to take that geometry. See, the problem with their schools is you put everybody on a college-bound path because all of the new laws, you have to take all the math, all the English, and some kids are just not cut out to do that.
Well, they have to have 4 maths now.
Right.
So there's 4 maths. I think if you look at algebra 2, I think you can get the 4 maths. I think with that, I'm not sure of that, but obviously, you know, my daughter teaches trig and statistics and all the other things. These non-college grad students are not going to be taking those, but they do have the core maths that they are going to have to take. Some of those are going to be college-bound. Some of those are not going to be. But the teachers, what I'm trying to say to you is the teachers are not penalized because they have a group of students who aren't going to be college-bound or not motivated. They have a formula that takes that into consideration. I can't necessarily explain it all, but I know the formula does exist. I talked to my daughter. I mean, she's a math teacher, so she's explained it to me.
Excuse me, I'd like to come back to Agenda 21. Correct me if I'm wrong, but really and truly, the legislature is very limited on what they can do here unless it comes up as a bill or a law within the legislature. I think it's good that the legislators need to know and be aware of this. But the only way that this is going to be helped with or come against is by everyone in this room becoming active in your local communities, getting on the school boards, getting on the city councils. That's the only way that this thing can be attacked and be stopped. And so I encourage everyone in here, as much you can't, we're limited on what we can ask these men to do. Part of this is our responsibility. And that we need to do our part and become part of the local governments, because otherwise they're not going to know. So it's up to us to become part of the government of our local communities. I just think that we ask too much of you guys sometimes.
That's the way.
Well, you can all, I tell you what you can do, and it's kind of scary, but you can go on the internet and you can watch the committee meetings. You can watch the subcommittee meetings. And you can watch us on the House floor. Everything we do. You go back tonight and see Don in committee last January the 26th and see what he said. You need to watch it. You need to know what they say, what they do, and talk and communicate. It's the system, you know, the internet's good, it's bad. But the good thing about it is, if you're really interested, you can go back and watch your legislator, watch it on the House floor, watch him in committee, see what he says. See what he doesn't say. Sometimes he's sitting there worse than saying something. And then get a hold of it, explain it to him. Because stuff like this, Agenda 21, a few years ago, people would have thought, well, that's crazy. You're some kind of nut. Where time goes on, you begin to realize, no, this is real. And it's all bogus. This international building code that we passed a couple years ago, these green buildings, they've proven now that they can burn more energy than the old buildings did. They've got these buildings so tight now that the air conditioning system has to pump fresh air into it every so often to get some fresh air. It actually costs more energy than the old buildings did, where they're just letting a little leak around the windows off. And now then the kids all got asthma. The air on the inside of the building, mold, you got black mold everywhere. You know, I tell my daughter that life, when you gain something, you lose something. It's real easy to see what you're gaining, but sometimes it's hard, it's too late by the time you realize what you lost. So if all this new stuff is not all that's what you got done.
Hey, that's age, wisdom and age.
Exactly. It's proud to be this old. Hope to get older.
I think you've answered a bunch of questions, and I appreciate you filling up the night for us. We're gonna try it one more time. A couple of things I forgot. Next month, when you come, and hopefully you will come back, there's parking available back there in the back. You won't have to traipse all the way through the front door. There's 2 doors back there in the back. And we can sneak in that way rather than have to come through the front. Make it a lot quicker for you to get in. The restrooms are back here in the back, which I also forgot to mention. There's one fellow sitting back here I want to recognize, Jimmy Ambrose. He's got Jimmy's Doghouse. Raise your hand there, Jimmy. He's a Vietnam vet, and I've made good friends with him. If you've not been in Jimmy's place, it's out here at Talbot. It's the cleanest place I've been in. It's got every flag that you can think about. If you want American flag, go there. He's got great food. I haven't eaten there yet, but it looks awful good to me. Thank you for being here, Jimmy. Time for the 50-50 drawing. And I see we've got that. This is the half of it. Is that it? Oh, I'll draw one here. If I draw my number, I'm going to put it back in there. Okay, the last 3 digits are 299. 299.
Rocket. Linda, is that all up the money?
$44.
There's the winner.
Fred is the winner. Hey, that's twice in a row. That's 2 times in a row. That's okay. We thank you very much. Thank you, Fred. We appreciate that. I want to thank all of y'all for coming tonight, and I really hope that you have learned something and that you will have an interest to come back. We hope to grow, and I apologize for my use of the microphone tonight. This is a new setup, and we'll get it squared away eventually. And I apologize if I have forgotten anything I should have said, and if I said anything that I shouldn't have said. So, we were supposed to have had Jeremy Faison and Steve Sutherland. And I apologize. Steve Sutherland called me, or his office called me this afternoon, said he was not going to be here, and Jeremy Faison is a no-show, and I do not know where he is. So you representatives are going to have to go beat on your brother there. If there are any of you from Cobb County, call him and tell him you missed being here. And if there's those that are, if Representative Nicely expected to see more folks from Jefferson County, beat on them. So anyway, is there anything else that anybody would like to say before we close down tonight?
Felix, if they have not paid the servers, go ahead and have it.
Okay, I hope there are no deadbeats in the group, and if you have paid the server, if you have not paid the server, they're in the back, and they'll collect your money. I hope you enjoyed the meal tonight, and also thank the folks here at Justin's for putting this on for us, because I thought the buffet was really good. And I'm going to ask Deacon Tom if he will offer our closing prayer, and then we'll go home.
I'm not really a deacon. I'm not worthy to be a deacon, but I always like to lift us up in prayer. I hope everybody did gain something. I hope you'll be motivated to get involved. This lady over here got it just exactly right. Get involved. Run for offices and get involved. Okay, let's pray. Lord, we thank you, God, for this meeting. I thank you, Lord, for the speakers. I ask that you'll impress upon them and others in our legislature to do that which is the will of the people. And Lord, I pray that we will truly seek your divine will in all that we do. Be with us now as we go to our separate places and protect us. Bring us back to